Ladies and gentlemen, meet the brand new 5th generation of the Lexus LS. And this is, of course, Lexus's most luxurious sedan, their flagship. It competes with cars like the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, the BMW 7 Series, and of course, the Audi A8. And this is just packed full of interesting and luxurious features. And coming up right now, I'm going to count down the top 5 most surprising luxury features. This isn't number 5 on my list, but it's still really cool. It's the biggest heads-up display in the business, according to Lexus. Now you don't see it, and now you do. There it is, 24 inches wide and 6 inches tall. So number 5 on my list has to be the back seat, because this is like sitting in first class on an international flight. Not only do I have 3 sets of shades that I can operate, looky there, and of course, let's raise them. Why would I want to have the riffraff see who's sitting back here? But let me show you all these controls that I have. The back seat is not only temperature controlled for both passengers, but I have heated and cooled left and right seats. I have a relaxation mode, which allows me to do, well, look at all those different kinds of massages. I think I'll go for the full body refresh. And of course, now you can see the different pressure points that the seat is working on my back and getting those tight knots of tension released. Number 4 on my list are hollow wheels. That's right, you heard me correct, hollow wheels. There are in fact 5 different styles of wheels you can get with this Lexus, but 3 of them, Lexus has hollowed out the inside, running right along here, that Lexus says makes the wheels not only lighter, but also gives the car a much better and more quiet ride. If you have air suspension in your Lexus LS, the car will actually raise itself 30 millimeters to help you gently sit down in the car. And then when you stop, it'll be actually higher so that you can easily get out. Now that is luxury. Check it out, a slot for a CD. Now that is something that is not available in many modern cars. And perhaps the reason for that is that Lexus says the average buyer of this car will be well into their 50s, maybe into their 60s. And maybe that demographic still has these odd discs. You recall those? Before Spotify, before Pandora? Number 2 on my list is a complete suite of automatic, well, everything. Automatic braking, automatic steering, automatic accident avoidance. This car will actually avoid accidents when it thinks you're about to run into another car, a pedestrian, an animal. It will steer itself, and it will do all that until it doesn't. What do I mean by that? Well, it's not fully autonomous. Basically, you are still responsible for driving the car until the next generation, the 6th generation of the LS comes along, which I suspect will be pretty autonomous. Now Lexus says this car will do 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. I can't talk about driving impressions, those are embargoed until September 28th, but I can certainly show you. There you have it, 60 miles an hour. Was that 5.1 seconds? I don't know, but at least you were able to watch me accelerate with the pedal all the way to the metal. And number 1 on the list has to be what's under the hood. It's a TT V6. What's a TT V6? Well, that's a twin turbo V6 that puts out 416 horsepower and 442 pound-foot of torque. Now, all that power can be fed through the rear wheels or all 4 wheels with all-wheel drive. Now, why is that surprising? Because you would expect a V8 under this hood. It is, of course, a flagship luxury sedan. The good thing about this V6, besides the fact that it's got not 1 but 2 turbos, is that it gets 10% better fuel economy than the outgoing V8. And speaking of fuel economy, this rear-wheel drive F-Sport gets 19 in the city, 29 on the highway, and 23 combined. Now, one of the features that this car is missing is that there is no option for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So you're going to have to deal with Lexus's system, and you better like it because that's what you get. And there is no stop-start. As you guys know, I always love to do a bonus, and that bonus has to be that there is a 500H, and that H, of course, stands for hybrid. The hybrid puts out 354 horsepower, and get this, gets 28 mpg combined. Now, Lexus expects to sell about 10% of these cars in hybrid form, but interestingly, even though the competitors all have a plug-in hybrid, this one does not plug in. This 5th generation Lexus LS starts at about $75,000, and if you get all the bells and whistles, it can go up to about $100,000, which is cheaper than the competition. It will also be available starting in February. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, Lexus LS reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.